everybody. Welcome. I'm Howie Howard from Mr. Furious Records. Today on Dat Fury Radio, Mr. Furious 20th Anniversary Celebration, Part 6, I believe, with Michael Carlson. What's going on, Michael?
Not a lot. How are you?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to some music and returning guest and collaborator. Well, Michael's returning as well, of course, but Drew Rudebusch. What's going on, Drew?
I'm podcasting.
You're podcasting. You're looking cozy there in bright black. We have a lot of music to listen to tonight, so I'm going to get us kicked right off with Blame the Game's Gotta Get Out on Dat Fury Radio. Drew, did you run across these guys in your Rent Money Big days?
I don't think so.
Okay. So this is drummer Tim Jensen out of Omaha originally. Blair, actually. Guitarist Tim Kadeski, who I knew from Doan and was in a band with for a couple years at Doan, a rock band. Bassist Ian Aiello, who went on to great success with ARC Studios and The Golden Age and many, many, many Nebraska projects. I'm sure, Drew, you know Ian's name at least.
Oh, yeah.
And second guitar, Ryan, and I'm blanking on Ryan's last name. Forgive me, Ryan. But yeah, this was recorded. I recorded this in my parents' house. And it never came out. Like, I don't remember. I handed it off to the band. I mixed it and everything and handed it off to the band, and they just never released it. They did break up not too terribly long after. But I stumbled across it in kind of the middle of COVID or whatever, and emailed, I think, Ian and maybe Tim Kadeski, to see if they would okay me just putting it out since it never had been. And they were like, yeah, sure, whatever, kind of. So we got it out. That would have been, let's see. That would have been, 2021. So just a digital release. Band was broken up for 15 years, at least prior probably. And
Man, what a tragedy.
they were a great live band too.
I imagine. Yeah, this is a great track.
Really fun, and the EP's kind of fun. So like, it's a 6-song EP. Every member gets a song where they basically wrote it and sing lead on it, and then Tim Jensen has a couple extras. So this is one of Tim Jensen's tunes.
Cool.
Writing about his hometown. Drew, it's kind of like it's got a real parallel to Population 2210 or whatever the number is on your Dark Satellites track.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds cool. I like this song. I've never heard it before.
I remember Tim Jensen pounding out those octaves on my mom's piano, just bop, 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 bop.
When was this recorded?
02, I want to say. Maybe 03. Probably 03.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe 04.
Huh.
Probably 03. I also, the vocals I think went in parallel through my DS1 pedal and back into Pro Tools. They just set up and recorded the basic tracks live, and then we did, some overdubs for Ear Candy. But in terms of the Mr. Furious Records story, this was just a kind of, depths of COVID release, that something to stumbled on something, talked to some old friends, and got it out there.
Cool.
The cover art is the pickup covers I took out of my guitar when I put radiator covers in my 345. And so those old pickup shells were just laying around, and I made the art, I guess, to finish that sentence. So night mode, wait until midnight. I'm actually, Drew, do you remember what album this is from? I'm gonna have to look it up.
There have been so many, I couldn't tell you what any of my tracks were on. We've got a pretty large library.
So this is from, and you gave this album its title. This is from Thinking About the Meaninglessness of Everything, the Expanse of Eternity, the Indifference of the Void that Consumes Us All, and What We Should Have for Lunch. Which was a
deep
solo.
shit, man.
Yeah, that was a solo night mode of mine. I think made with mostly the MS-20 plus the beginnings of a modular rig that I was starting to get some modular pieces to augment the semi-modular MS-20.
Yeah, it sounds like MS-20.
Was this a one-off improvisational jam, or is it something that you worked on a few times?
This was, yeah, mainly made in my kind of quasi-improvisational mode that I've talked about several times before. These tracks, the whole album does have a kind of menace to it that wasn't necessarily intentional, but just emerged, I guess. I had an extra LFO, an extra oscillator, which I think was the Erica Pico VCO, digital wavetable oscillator. And a couple other things I can't remember now off the top of my head.
This was done kind of early on during COVID, wasn't it?
Yeah, released in 21 and definitely recorded in 2020 or 2021. So this is one of those night modes. Sometimes night mode albums come out way after they were recorded. Sometimes it's fairly quick. This is one of the fairly quick ones. All the track titles, so the cover art references Bone Thugs and Harmony, and all the track titles also reference Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Was that from a email conversation with Corey?
It was from
seem to
something
remember
goofy
Corey.
like that.
Corey was involved somehow.
That sounds right. I don't remember specifically, but that sounds right. It was definitely just kind of a lark. Because this was a very low stakes album, just those quasi improvised jams, and this was definitely not overthought. Just some synth jams.
What's the modulation going on here? Is that a flanger?
Could be. I like using the Mr. Black Shepherd's End on synths. This would also have been about the time I got the Ibanez flanger, the yellow 10 series. I think it's SF10.
Yeah. I was thinking it was the Ibanez.
Okay, it could totally be that, yeah. Maybe this is a good time to mention, so we started this series a year ago with the 20th birthday of Mr. Furious. It is not going to be completed before the 21st birthday, so we've got 2 episodes to go. The last one will be short, but we have 2 episodes to go, and Mr. Furious's golden birthday, 21st birthday, will be like this. I think it's the Saturday after this episode drops.
Awesome.
So we didn't quite make it in classic Mr. Furious style. Overpromise and deliver eventually, but slightly late. That's the MO. So this is the full version. I couldn't figure out an excerpt for this. This is the full version of endocrielectrical signaling. Kind of an online collaboration I did with an artist, Christopher Kemp, who goes by Willow House, drew on a gear forum that we're on.
Frankenputer,
yeah. Which is a Rocky Horror reference, sort of. But yeah, these were, I think, this was another kind of depths of COVID era. It took a while to get it together, but like...
Yeah, I remember this one.
Yeah, put a call out for collaborations. Frankenputer kind of came through as a serious contender. And I think, so there's 3 pieces on this album. I think I maybe started 2 and he started 1, you know, and we sent the files back and forth and overdubbed, and I mixed and mastered with his collaboration and notes and stuff. And yeah, I really enjoyed the process, and I think it's a good project that sounds unique in the Night Mode catalog. He did a lot of guitar. I mean, very ambient, but highly processed, but a lot of guitar. Which does have ties, like Drew, you played guitar on the earliest Night Mode stuff, like the stuff we were doing with Damon and the shows we played and stuff.
Yeah. I want to say I end up doing guitar in some capacity on almost everything I do. What's the sound I'm hearing right now?
I don't know. Which is kind of wonderful. Let's see, where is this? This one must live on the MrFuriousRecords.bandcamp.com, pardon me. Yeah, there we go. The album is Magnetismicrosis. I was mashing up like physics terms and biology terms to come up with the names of this stuff. And honestly, it's kind of hard to remember who did what at this point. I mean, anything that sounds like guitar and is guitar is Chris. I used a lot of Medusa synthesizer. And I don't remember what else. Honestly, it's kind of fuzzy. I can't do it live. I mean, I could recover the session. It's backed up, and I could load it from backup and see. I'm probably the pad, sort of, and Chris is probably everything else.
Yeah. So you said he's doing a lot of guitar here?
Yeah, I think so. You know, it really, to tie it back, like the process that resulted in this album, it's the same type of process that Nate and I used to come up with Orbital Debris. Not necessarily in the detail, but just the like kind of stay at home, send stuff back and forth, like that kind of thing.
So in these collaborations, are they also just improv sessions by you, or do you do some composing in response to what you hear?
My parts or my pieces would have started with the same kind of quasi improvised jams, I think, with like that little mission or that little seed of an idea to build on, but kind of flesh out in one session. I don't know how Chris composes, and I don't remember talking with him a lot about what his side of the process looked like. I just got tracks back, and if I'm remembering right, you know, one of the jams started with him, or maybe even the middle song is real long, and maybe we might have glued two things together to come up with that, and kind of edited it. I remember taking I know exactly the rock I took the picture of for the cover art. It's on a walk. We were taking lots of walks at that time, and yeah, it's at the entrance of a kind of. It's not actually gated, but it's this little development close to where I live. That has a nice walking path. I like that font. That I use that font. The font for Magnetism Necrosis, I also used on the Blame the Game cover, and maybe have used even a third time since. I really like that font. Michael, what do you remember, like... I can call you a Night Mode fan, right? I mean, so...
Sure.
What was it like as stuff was coming out in 2021 and you were hearing new and varied music?
Yeah, it was... So as you mentioned, sometimes, you know, you record stuff well before you release it. And so... Personally, as a Night Mode fan, I would like to see the map that shows when it was recorded versus when it was released, to kind of see where the overlaps actually happened. But yeah, during that time, you know, any music work that I had done had come to a complete screeching halt because I had to repurpose my home studio as my home office. And so after 5 days, spending 8 hours straight in the same room, I just needed to get out of that room. And so that kind of killed all of my output. So I was thrilled that people I knew were still, you know, producing stuff and putting stuff out there for, you know, blokes like me to listen to. So yeah, I was thankful, to be honest.
I think we could do like one of those YouTube channels of just Night Mode music that people put on for like background study music that just like is like it could run uninterrupted for such a long time.
Yes.
without repeating.
Yeah, just a continuous stream. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Night Mode Radio. Get on that.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there any way to monetize that anymore?
I am not the person to talk to about monetization, obviously.
Yeah. Or just as a fun creative project.
Yeah,
totally.
Is YouTube
I like
the
the
platform
idea.
for that?
Probably.
Is YouTube the platform
Could
for
be.
that? I don't even.
actually,
I don't know.
there are probably. Well, no, you want to monetize. Never mind. I was gonna offer some.
Well, or not. I mean, we
Sure.
could just turn off ads because,
Yeah.
like, ads are such a vibe.
So here's something completely different.
That was MS-20 filter resonating at the beginning. And it kind of comes in periodically. This was actually one of the first tracks that I started recording when I did May You Live in Interesting Times.
Oh wow.
But I didn't finish it for that album, so I finished it for the next album. And it so this came from the sessions when I did the 2020 album.
One of my favorite Dark Satellite songs.
I had fun doing these guitar leads. It was just my Scythe Telecaster with the tone knob all the way down. I think going straight into the orange stack. And I just had the preamp cranked on the orange.
Does that have 50s wiring or modern wiring?
What?
Your Scythe.
Telecaster?
Yeah.
I don't know what's 50s wiring. It's like a Tele custom.
Right.
So it's got a wide range humbucker in the neck and then a single coil in the bridge.
50s, so modern wiring, the tone pot connects to the top lug of the volume control, like to the pickup, basically. 50s wiring, the tone pot connects to the middle lug of the volume pot.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever it is, it sounds good.
Definitely. And what I mean, in terms of like sort of the label's history, what evolution from 2012 are here on the drumming, the mixing, you know.
Yeah, it helps to have some experience. It was kind of hard to hold this beat for 4 or 5 minutes.
You held it.
I was just thinking about the Stooges. I was like, what kind of drum beat would Scott Ashton play on a song like this? More MS-20. It's kind of like Hawkwind and
Totally.
the Stooges sort of at the same time.
Perfect.
That was a fun one to do.
Yeah.
So next up, an excerpt from the track Waves, the Night Mode track Waves, which is my dad's Night Mode album, performed on the Lyra 8 synthesizer. There's a whole video about that story that I'll link to. Yeah. He makes weird music.
For our eventual Night Mode dueling beat mixtape, Howie, I think I want to sample a bunch of your dad's stuff and put it to beats.
That'd be sweet.
Agreed.
If you want any, I mean, this project's pretty raw, so you could probably just take the finished. So if you want anything from me, let me know. I'll send it over.
Okay. Yeah, I think I think I could do some things with this.
Yeah, stuff from the new one, you might want stems or something, like it's the way it's mixed and overdubbed is different, and
that would be interesting.
Is very free. I mean, you can put any type of drums you want, and it'll work or not in equal measure, you know? When he was doing these jams, so I recorded these to 4-track cassette. Just mono, but that was the medium, and the tape was about 20 minutes long. So I'd be there with a stopwatch, like counting down for him, and there's no extras. There's 3 tracks. He did 3 jams. There's nothing extra that's not released, but all 3 times it'd be like a minute to go, and I didn't think he was going to get out of it, and I just thought it was going to be like a hard stop when the tape ended. And somehow he got out of every single one, and
awesome.
I'm amazed because he does not really... He's just in the moment, and he's not really thinking about arrangement or anything except the sound that he's making, which is wonderful.
Agreed.
But can be nerve-wracking when the tape's running out, you know? I'm always surprised. He says he likes to drone, but both with the Lyra and with the other instruments he's played with, he's so active. Like, he's just constantly changing stuff. So I don't know if that's a language thing, or I haven't been able to get a straight answer out of him.
Well, I don't know how much time he spends listening to drone music.
None. He listens to Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah, I don't think he really knows what that term means to other people.
Maybe he's just into speed drone.
That's a great term.
Speed drone. Tell him that's his speed drone.
I wonder, he kind of does like the sound to just always be present, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't do a lot with silence.
He's a maximalist.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta put that tag on the Bandcamp page, Howie. You gotta add speed drone to his
speed drone,
tag
maximalist
list.
drone.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, is he working with that new synth that you just built?
Yeah, he's working with it some. He's been he's had appointments and stuff and hasn't like every time I talk to him, which is once or twice a week, he tells me, he's like, "Oh, I just need to take an hour and like sit down with the documentation and just focus." So I know he's turning it on and playing with it for short periods, but he's not like going deep, or he hasn't had the time to really learn it yet, which is what I was hoping he would be able to do, and still think that he can. But he just hasn't had the time to do it yet.
Got some drones going on here.
He's still handing out CDs, which is awesome. I know he gets a huge kick out of that. Yeah. So I'm glad we did those. If you need a night mode CD, head on up to Crete, Nebraska, and knock on Dad's door. He'll be happy to give you one.
Sweet. Speaking of drones.
Oh, are you looking ahead? What do we have? Oh, right.
Heck yeah.
Nice. Excellent professional podcast transition, Michael. So we're transitioning to the debut from Drone Space 9. An excerpt from the track Episode. This is my drone project for synth music that's too weird for night mode. Which is kind of saying something, but it didn't feel right to put out a 90-minute noise piece as a night mode piece. I don't know why. I'm sure it would have been fine, but it didn't feel right. So this was my well, Michael, you're actually involved in this story, right? Because you introduced me to the Chris Knife.
Chris Knife, yep.
Yeah. So one of the things that the artist Chris Knife does is do looped excerpts of science fiction noise. And I bought and have enjoyed the Star Trek Next Generation and Deep Space Nine loops. In fact, I liked the Deep Space Nine loops so much that I painstakingly recreated a generative version of it. So this sound is not looped or taken from the television program. This is created by me to match the noise loop from the program as closely as I possibly could. I used multiple noise sources, a ton of EQ with sharp little resonances, various reverbs, and I also put in a lot of like little LFOs and things in Reaper. This is all kind of done digitally, but to keep it moving, so it isn't a loop. Actually, it's a piece, and if you listen to the whole thing, you won't particularly tell when things are changing or whatever. But it doesn't loop. There are tiny changes occurring throughout that don't cycle over each other. So that's what this is. This is very functional sound. I designed it for, reading and deep thinking and falling asleep and that sort of thing, and find it very comforting for that. Since it reminds me of a really wonderful television program. But that's what it is.
Good stuff.
This is very relaxing.
Thank you.
I'm literally just vibing out. I'm just vibing.
Good. It's vibing music.
It is. And you've put out additional Drone Space Nine releases. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think at least 3, maybe 4 at this point, because I just did one the other week with the Nevis synthesizer.
Oh yeah, okay.
But yeah, it's become my home for music and experiments, basically synthesizer based, but just that don't feel like night mode for whatever reason. I don't want to insult or devalue them, but in my mind, Drone Space Nine releases are minor releases in a way, and maybe that has more that's not necessarily a quality thing, but it has to do with the thought and effort that go into them, which is minimal in some ways. I mean, this one was pretty painstaking, and I did put a lot of work into, but the others have been fairly quick and
this
dirty.
Sounds like Interstellar Hot Tub.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a visualizer for these tracks on YouTube, both the 46-minute episode and 90-minute feature length. Once it will, again, it's original artwork that will evoke a certain television program with, you know the one I'm talking about. Yeah, wow, we're in a very Howie-centric stretch here, because this is you just carried it a while. And then, so this is a solo night mode album, and the next one is a solo night mode album too. Completely different stories. So this album, not this piece, but this album is centered around 2 takes of a kind of epic ambient chord progression that was me and Damon Marr. Recorded, I can't remember if it was recorded at his old house or in the basement he rented at 23rd and Mass for a minute. But yeah, I had this chord progression, this piece, and I was playing it. He was not so much playing, and mostly he was processing my sound through his Bug Brand equipment, the crossover filter and the delay, kind of the tabletop versions of that. Both just fantastic sounding and completely, the tracks would not be anything close to what they are without that gear and Damon's performance of it. But so I had these 2 big pieces. That's Morphine Induction and Ashen Valor. And yeah, I wanted to release them, but not alone necessarily. So I did a few smaller pieces to kind of support them and separate them in the album experience, so you're not hearing the two takes kind of back to back, and they're pretty different takes. And so You Just Carried It a While is one of those tracks, and one of the things that Damon had been talking about doing around that time, I don't know if he ever did it, was taking field recordings and reamping them in ambient or reverberant spaces. Mm-hmm. So you get this like progressively, you start with a field recording, you project it out through a speaker into a reverberant space and record that.
Yep.
And then project that out into a different reverberant space. And I took that concept, since we had been talking about that around the time we did these pieces, I took that concept and reversed it and used pedals. So I was using delay and reverb pedals, and like I had this huge lineup of them, I don't know, like 8 pedals, and I just slowly turned them off.
Oh wow, that's cool. So
the sound gets drier and drier. I think that's this piece. We can't hear it. It's one of the pieces on here. No, it may not be this one.
That's a cool concept though.
Yeah, on the monitoring we can't hear the music terribly well, especially this more abstract ambient stuff. But yeah, and then I named the pieces I did with Damon of the main like chord progression, the big pieces they're so emotional to me, and they remain so. I did the track titles and album title kind of thinking about my sister and her experience with cancer and ultimate death. And so this You Just Carried It a While is a line from Firefly about a bullet. And I won't, it's been a little while since I've rewatched the show, so I won't have the quote exactly right, but it's something to do with, it's like, you didn't shoot me with the bullet. You just carried the bullet a while. It was always going to find me, kind of, is the idea. So yeah, this was like a pretty emotional and serious, I guess, night mode project, which of course means that on the same day I released an entirely silly one. Which is Working Bears or Barely Working.
Oh yeah, right on. I think I vaguely recall the artwork for that one.
Yeah,
I can picture it.
It came out so well. I'm so pleased with it. I drew the artwork.
Oh, right on. Cool.
I did take some inspiration for the bear design from another artist, but I did hand draw that. And this piece, the excerpt from Siciliana, was my attempt to do speed metal on the MS-20. Now it starts very ambient and nice, but the end of this track is a blast beat.
Right on.
This is an MS-20 improvisation. Sounds like I'm probably using my favorite pseudo paraphonic patch because I can hear, a drone note underneath the melody. You can patch the control voltage to the sample and hold and then trigger it off a key press. So if you play the first note and you've got monophonic, both oscillators on the same note, but then as long as you play legato, the sample and hold doesn't re-trigger. So one oscillator, if it's patched to the sample and hold, will drone. And then you're playing the melody with the second oscillator.
Cool.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do on that synth.
You have to hold the first key down?
Nope. The sample and hold does it for you. As long as
it generates. Oh, okay. It generates a control voltage.
It's just holding. Yeah, it's holding that voltage from the first key press. Right. Yeah, I think I faded. So with all this night mode music, and these longer pieces for Mr. Signal, which listeners, that's what we're listening to. We're listening to the compilation Mr. Signal, which you can find at mrfuriousrecords.bandcamp.com. 1 track per release for our entire history. But these night mode songs, a lot of times 8, 10, 14 minutes. For Mr. Signal, I try to find a 5 or 6 minute excerpts I can take if there's not a shorter piece that I can just use, so that the listening experience of the compilation doesn't become just completely a night mode listening experience, So yeah, this one's gonna fade out before the blast.
You just send them to the YouTube channel for that.
That's what you can
There
do.
you go.
The blast beat was done. I'm talking about something you're not going to hear, but it was triggered by the LFO going pretty fast. And that was triggering, an oscillator and an envelope to kind of make the kick drum sound. And then the noise was going through a different envelope and VCA. And there's a delay on envelope 2. So you could, from the same LFO trigger, it's triggering the pseudo kick on the mark, and then that snare, the noise sound can be delayed slightly to fit in the gap.
Okay.
And get that alternating blast beat sound.
Cool.
I gotta find a USB cable.
Okay. Well, you find on. We're gonna keep moving.
Come with me.
I'm in the bucket with the bucket low.
Now for something slightly different.
Extremely different.
Ladies love it though. And the Cuddy two-tone. Like the way you juxtapose, but the break suspect. Always playing the tuck and roll.
Stick figure man.
Gotta know it's killing me. I lied a couple bars ago. These bras ain't feeling me. I think I'm lame and corny.
This was so fun.
I
I'm
bet.
so glad Stick dug it.
And chivalry is dead. The moment that they see the ride crack.
So this is a collab, right?
Well, not really. So this is a remix of an old Stick Figure song,
okay.
Bucket.
Remix, right on.
And the acapella was available on Bandcamp on the old release.
Really? Okay.
So actually, I didn't have to ask him for anything except permission when I was done.
Right on.
And yeah, I mean the original is great. I love the original beat, and the drum fill from it is in the remix too. But I wanted to do kind of a Tame Impala thing.
Okay.
So it's drum brute, AX60. Oh, and I wanted to use the chord progressions in kind of an odd time signature. It doesn't fully match up on the 4. So big, huge AX60 pad, including the pad is covering the bass basically. And then with bass guitar, I'm doing those licks, and those are sped up, so
Oh, okay.
I think they're doubled. Yeah, so I didn't
Right on.
play that fast. Those are sped up in the box.
Okay, cool. Sounds really good.
Thank you. And yeah, all processed on the 404 then, so it's got the
Okay.
404 compression and
Nice.
grab effects and stuff.
How'd you do the bass?
I was just telling Michael, I just recorded a bunch of licks and then sped them up.
So that's
double
bass
time.
guitar. That's actual bass guitar.
Yeah, that's actual bass guitar. Sped up double. So I actually played it at a reasonable speed. I just improvised a bunch of licks, chopped it up, and it's all rearranged in Reaper. And
You said you sped it up?
yeah, double. So I played it at halftime and an octave lower, and just
That's
double. I
a
couldn't
cool
have played
idea.
this. Yeah, I couldn't have played these this way. There's the fill from the original.
Nice.
That tom fill. Yeah, that was super fun.
Great track.
It's all Stick, man. He makes it so easy.
So is that recorded from an actual radio you're flipping through, or?
That's my voltage controlled radio.
Ah, right on.
So I've got a radio I modded for voltage control and can sequence or, you know,
Nice.
do whatever.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's really fun. It's fun to fine tune like noise versus signal and come up with a pattern and
Hmm.
If you want to hack into another radio or cassette player, I have an old Walkman where the cassette deck doesn't want to turn. If you hack into that, you could maybe put some control voltage taps on that somewhere.
that could be cool. So this is Who Is Right and Who Is Dead. Track from my massive MS-20 project, Only Mostly Dead. Obviously at this point chock full of Princess Bride references. Making this album was the easy part. Sequencing it was the hard part. I spent a couple of years on the sequence. This was actually, well, damn, this came out in 2022. I recorded this mostly was after I switched. I recorded this mostly in 2017.
Wow.
Summer 2017, summer and fall. So it took 5 years to sequence.
Did you do one of these over in my basement with the Juno 60?
This one is all MS-20, solo MS-20 and pedals.
I mean, some of this album.
Nope. The whole album. Oh. Whole album is solo MS-20 improvisations. I did, so the piece I did use your Juno 60 on, that's on Your Pain Matters.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. I didn't realize you had the MS-20 back in 2017.
I got it with the vacation payout money of the job I left in 2017. So I had a bunch of stored up vacation and they paid some of it out. And I bought a MS-20 Mini with it.
Nice.
Yeah, just about the best money I've ever spent. Come to think of it. Man, I love
Clearly.
that thing. The track Drew is thinking about is called Fourth's Harvest off of Night Mode's Your Pain Matters. That was recorded in Drew's old basement on Aaron Osborne's Juno 60.
Yeah, that was a solid release.
That's one of my favorites. Not even just Night Mode, like one of my favorite things I've ever done is
Right on.
Your Pain Matters. Something about it's very emotional, even to listen to.
It is.
It just captured something. I'm always happy to hear the stuff from Only Mostly Dead, though. I actually keep the CD in the car, the short version, and
Nice.
if I don't know what to listen to, I'll just pop that in. I can always listen to this stuff. And it's not. I mean, I'm happy with my playing, but it feels like it's the instrument itself. Just the timbre of the MS-20 is so it's both interesting and comforting and calming for me. I can just always listen to MS-20. Oh, professional podcast time. We're gonna have to say goodbye to keep us under an hour in like 2 minutes. So, Michael, remstate.bandcamp.com. Anything else you want to mention?
Just remstate.com also. Great
Right.
place to start. They'll link you to Bandcamp and any other place where I might happen to be. Thank you.
And we won't break news today, but you do have exciting stuff coming up. So it would be good to bookmark that, follow on Bandcamp, and prepare for an exciting time for Remstate coming up.
I have a big release coming later this year.
Awesome. Drew, what do you want to mention?
Follow me on Blue Sky. Just look for Dark Satellites on Blue Sky, or go to Instagram and find Night Mode 69420. That's where I'm more active than. Actually, those are the only things I really use anymore.
Yeah. Well, listeners, thanks for joining us. Fellas, don't go anywhere, but listeners, we appreciate you. Please subscribe and share and do all the things. Visit MrFuriousRecords.bandcamp.com. And we'll be back next week. Oh, incredible episode coming next week with MC Reach out of Kansas City. Reach and I talk about Kansas City hip-hop, have a really cool discussion, I think. So subscribe for that on Dat Fury Radio.